Now, coming to now after Baglamukhi comes is Matangi.
Yeah,
So,
Matangi.
what?
Matangi is the goddess. It's a tantric Saraswati, and
Mhm.
when we look into Matangi, there is another form of Matangi is the Uchishta Matangi. So what is
Right. And
happening?
Raja Matangi.
What is happening here is that if you how polluted you can be, like if you are in the journey of finding your own self, how polluted
Hmm.
you can be. This is what it is basically. Like you are giving, if we look into the Uchishta Matangi's sadhana
Hmm.
purpose, you are giving whatever is left over, like in Nivedya what you
Hmm.
give is like uchishta, basically you eat something and the leftover is been offered to the Matangi. And when doing the puja, it is really opposite. You should not take bath,
Hmm.
and you should not brush.
Okay.
So this is the way you go for the Matangi. So what is happening here? It is the impure stuff, the impurity on you. You are really able to visualize, and you reflect that on other, and you can actually, you can be become a Saraswati. Like Saraswati is when it is from tantra to, if we go to the other form of worship method, we can see the Saraswati. She is very pure. If you are not
Hmm.
destroying the impurities on you, you will never be able to go to the pure one, you know
Right. So,
so
Matangi, she is portrayed slightly aggressively because she has a sword in her hands,
mhm,
and she, at the same time, she's holding the veena, the way Saraswati has.
mhm,
Only the color is different, is like the green. And
mhm,
Raja Matangi, we find her seated on a throne. Uh,
mhm.
so, what is the difference between the Uchishta Matangi and Raja Matangi, who looks more regal in her form? And why the sword? Why that aggression? Is it like, she has some similarity with the Greek goddess Athena, who is also she's familiar with warfare as well as knowledge and all that. So, could you please explain the difference in the iconography of Uchishta Matangi and the Raja Matangi? And why the
the
sword in the hand?
Matangi, basically, like Athena and all, like this is much later happened. The Greek
Hmm.
stuff, I mean, the whatever happened in the Greece has been much later than that of whatever
Hmm.
happened in India. We can see that in the, I mean, the Chaushat Yogini temple also, it
Yeah.
has been built much earlier than that of the whatever happened in Greek philosophies and stuffs like that. So here the
Hmm.
idea is that if you are never going, if you are not crossing if you are
Hmm.
not able to visualize the dirtiest form of you, you cannot really transcend your mind beyond your limitations. This is what it is basically.
And the sword, the symbolism of the sword and the color green. Why so? The bluish green, rather, I should say.
It's
What
the
is the
basic.
symbolism?
So basically, green is the color of the prakriti, basically. Like, if you look
Hmm.
around, it is really greenish everywhere. So basically, it is when we look into the Mahavidya sadhana, it is basically the worship of Shakti. Shakti is nothing but it is Prakriti. If we look into
Hmm.
the Advaita Vedantic philosophy, it is the
Prakriti,
Prakriti.
yes.
So Prakriti
Hmm.
is nothing but it is greenish. Like
Hmm.
it's the whatever happens here, the physical world which we can visualize is basically is in greenish color. So this is basically like if you transcend the dirtiest aspect of you, you could
Hmm.
actually experience, and you can go to the mind which is beyond the beyond the ordinary mind. This is the tantric
Okay.
way of Matangi is
And
depend like
okay,
the
and
visualization.
the parrot and the swan, because if we see that the parrot is at the as the vehicle or the mount of Matangi,
Mhm.
whereas when you're talking about Saraswati, we see the swan as well as at times the peacock.
Mhm.
So, is there any relevance when you switch from, since you're talking about the, in terms of the transcendence from Matangi to the Saraswati mode,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about the the shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any difference in terms of the mount? There must be some difference to it. Then why that kind of a portrayal, like a parrot at Matangi's feet, and whereas the swan as well as the peacock at in case of Saraswati? Is there any particular meaning
Like
for it? Any
if you
symbolism?
look in really, like, the peacock and swan is actually is considered be holy, whereas the parrot is
Right.
not that holy. See,
Okay.
if we look into tantra vidya is
Mm-hmm.
basically to people who really want to do something. So if you really want to do something with an ordinary
Mm-hmm.
mind, you will never been able to go deeply into the tantra vidya, because an
Mm-hmm.
ordinary mind always look for the pleasure, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always settle with whatever,
Materialistic.
always settle with whatever the pleasurefulness has been happening. You will never
Mm-hmm.
experience the depth of the life with an ordinary mindset. And the
Mm-hmm.
tantra is not for the people, those who has the ordinary mindset, because uh, many people don't agree. I mean, you should worship a god without taking bath means, what does it mean? It's just opposite. Like
Absolutely.
peoples are generally offer holy stuff to god or goddesses, and
Correct.
it's
Correct.
like
Correct.
that. You are coming out from that transcendence, because tantric concept is that if God is helping you in holy way, then God should help you in this way also. Like
Okay.
so the God is like a communist. Like he see everybody as the same. Like if you look into the
Mm.
some stories of the Shiva, he only give
The boons as well as
no,
then he
I mean,
actually
he only helped the Phasmasura also. He only helped the
uh,
Vishnu
he gives the
also.
boons and then
Yeah,
he
both way,
looks for
both
a
way.
solution.
No, the both
Mm-hmm.
the both people he only give helped. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
are an
Correct.
asura, God doesn't care. Whether you are a
Mm-hmm.
holy person, God doesn't care. Because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately there is nothing called the right or wrong is existing. So
Mm-hmm.
to come into that sort of mindset, the tantric path, if you take, you really have to do really deeper sadhana. If we look into the yogini sadhana, people will
Mm-hmm.
ask you to walk on the top of the knife and things like that, and they jump themselves into the the fire rituals. And
Oh my God.
some temples there is they put the hanging stuffs into the skin, and they take in the vehicle and take them around the temple, and sort of stuff. So the so so to come into that sort of mindset, the really deeper mindset, you
Mm-hmm.
really need to detach from the good and bad effect. And this is the path. This is for somebody who really want to do something. It's not for somebody who really, I mean, okay, I like it's not like I mean, the entire philosophy is to realize the self. This is the ultimate goal, basically. So there is no dual nature between me and God. There is not two different entity. So understand the God, and being God and becoming God is what the entire setup is basically about. So this is how we can go really deeper into the tantra stuff. And basically
Mm-hmm.
Matangi shows how deeper you can go in an impure way, like how impure you can go. This is what the basically Matangi shows. And if you really want to I mean, it's a kind of Saraswati as well, so it will actually increase your ability to perform the artworks and stuff like that. Matangi
Mm-hmm.
helps in
And
that.
intellect sharpens the intellect. That's also is there?
Sharpen the intellect is basically Bagalamuhi's job, basically.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. Not Matangi.
she make you wise. Art has nothing to do with the intellect. If you are intellectual, you cannot enjoy and experience art. Art is totally
Mm-hmm.
different. Like art art comes from the I mean, art is the appreciation
Hmm.
towards the beauty. It
Correct.
has nothing to do with the intellect.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the mind, basically, or the
Right.
intellect. Yeah.